And welcome back. Roy Rickstrew joins us now for this week's Dollars and Cents segment, which is sponsored by the Resource Center. Good to see you again.
Well, thanks for
coming in. All right, we're going to take a look at today's topic. It really has all to do with, giving people the right information when you're looking for disability claims and things like that.
That's correct. I want to talk a little bit about your work history and disability claims. And the thing that people forget a lot of times is that you are the expert when it comes to telling Social Security what type of work you've done in the past. And of course, Social Security takes our work history, looks for job skills that we might have acquired to see if we can transition to something easier. So for example, if you had been a roofing supervisor, maybe you could go bid jobs. Use the skill set, but it's a lot less physically demanding.
Right.
So if we'll go ahead and switch over to our first slide. When we talk with Social Security about our work history, again, we're the expert. We want to make sure they understand the amount of time you spent on the job. Because there's some job skills that it takes a while to learn. So if you're a temporary or a seasonal employee, chances are you weren't there long enough to really master the tasks, and you may not have had a job skill you could take somewhere else.
Okay.
So we always have to ask, how long does proficiency take in that job? How long does it take to master it? If you jumped into a job that had a year's worth of training and you were only there 3 months, probably didn't acquire anything that was going to help you.
That concerns me about, well then, are they the arbiter? I mean, are they the one who determines, okay, they've had enough experience? Or?
Well, yeah, there's guidelines in the regulations for how long you have to be at a job in order to master those jobs. But it's important that when they look at the guidelines, they look at the right guidelines. So, what you give to Social Security then goes into a formula, and if any part of that formula is wrong, then a lot of times their decision can be too. So again, how long does it take for you to master your job skill? If we go ahead and switch over, there we go. Social Security compares your work to what they call a dictionary of occupational titles. A great big book, supposedly has every job in America in it. The problem is that sometimes what we did doesn't pigeonhole very well into the dictionary of occupational titles.
Right.
Which it becomes crucial that your job is classified correctly. So let's take, for example, if you were a painter.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're a painter. Did you paint porcelain dolls? Or did you paint giant buildings? Because one's going to require you to lift 5-gallon buckets, be up on ladders. It's going to be much more physically demanding. I had a gentleman not long ago that was painting dump truck trailers. He was on the ground, rolling around, painting overhead. A whole lot different than somebody who paints air tanks in a booth.
True.
So it's real important that Social Security understands not only the time, but how difficult your job was. We want to make sure they get it right. So when they look at whether you can go back to that job, they're looking at the right situation.
Right. So it behooves you to give them as much information as possible to help them break this down?
Oh, most definitely. And they appreciate it too, because obviously they want to get it right. So if we'll go ahead and switch over here, the third thing is the skills that are learned. We got to make sure they understand how complex the job was. Some jobs are pretty simple. Other jobs are much more difficult. And so a lot of times people get these work history forms, they're a little annoyed by them, they just go through and scribble out real basic information. Social Security can't determine how complex your work was. How much social interaction you had with the general public is another factor.
Right. Were you an office worker versus a desk up front kind of worker?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And even in our office, where we do financial services and financial planning, there's about 3 different job classifications at Social Security that those folks could fit into. And if we're not real careful, we'll get the wrong skill level and the wrong skill set out of it. And then our job duties. Does your job actually match, your title match what you do? Right? Some people are CEOs of small restaurants because they own the restaurant.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're backroom CEOs. Chances are they're out there frying food with the cooks.
Right.
Because
you're not part of a multinational organization.
Exactly. So, if your job title is CEO, that may not tell us the whole story. Did you do parts of several jobs? And that's very, very important as we get older with Social Security. Because if they can't pigeonhole your job into that big dictionary of occupational titles, and you did 2 or 3 of those jobs, you have to be able to do all aspects of all of those jobs to go back to that work. So it's real important they understand you wear multiple hats.
I guess then what you're really saying is take this seriously, be patient, fill it out the right way. Don't go, it's never just good enough.
That's right. And obviously I help people with those, so I would suggest you get help.
All right.
We're doing Disability Process 101 workshops. The next one here is July 21st this week, and then August 4th. Are you eligible? How to apply, how to appeal, tips for how to build strong cases.
Yeah.
Our website down here, yourdisabilityrep.com. More tips there, videos, information that you could certainly benefit. And then lastly, I'm going to be at the fair. We have a booth at the fair in a couple weeks. Stop by and see me. I'll be glad to talk with you.
So if you have any financial questions for Roy, visit his website. The big one is resourcecenterinc.com, and you can give him a call, 882-1800. There it is right there.
I'll be indoors at the fair.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's even better. Thanks a lot. All right. Up next on Ozarks Live, whether you say rodeo or rodeo, it's coming back big time to Ozark, and we have all the information right after this.